What's up, everybody? We are here and we are doing something a little new. I'm gonna turn that down. Unbelievable.
Already crash and burn.
Already crash and burn. We're doing something a little new, and we are doing a video podcast. Just something to mix it up.
Yeah.
You know, mix it up during the quarantine. So, how is everybody doing with the quarantine?
I am falling apart, man. My sleep schedule is horrendous. All I do is I go two places and that's it, and it drives me nuts.
Well, you're not supposed to be going anywhere.
It's true. It's a good point.
You're breaking the rules.
I'm not going places to hang out with people. Except for
Except for what?
Except for right here.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
But you guys have been quarantined too, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Right?
We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, we've been together like almost every day for a couple weeks. So if one of us got it, we all got it.
Right.
It's true.
It's true.
So we've been safe.
Knock on wood.
Mine's quarantine. It's going fine. It's busy with a 4 and a 2-year-old, especially when it's rained all the time and you can't go outside.
Yeah.
So entertaining them. I have played more animal fights and car races.
What's your favorite
kinetic sand?
What's your favorite animal to be?
I like to be the bear. Henry thinks it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Henry really thinks I'm a bear sometimes. He gets scared.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that's our life. Quarantine.
So it's been fine. I'm a homebody anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So my sleep schedule has been messed up though. It's like it'll be 1 o'clock and I'll be like, it feels like 9 p.m. bro.
Yeah.
So we've been staying up late, which is it?
1 o'clock in the morning or in the afternoon?
A.m.
Morning.
A.m. in the morning. Yeah, we've been staying up
How do
till
you
A.m. in the
sleep so
morning.
late?
It's because it's just like you're not expending much energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't.
Come over and hang out with the 4 and 2-year-old.
Yeah. We've been moving though.
That's true.
So
We're helping you move this week, right?
yeah,
In
Friday.
your new house?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
You're providing hazmat suits,
well.
right?
Do what?
You're providing hazmat suits?
We'll have hazmat suits, hand sanitizer. If you want to go the other way, we'll have a cup of dirty needles.
Boost my immune system.
Boost your immune system if you believe in the other thing.
John, okay, one question. What are you most excited about having your new house? The one thing you're most excited about having your house.
Not spending that much money on rent is going to be nice.
So the money's investing in something.
Yeah, but it's also less than what we've been paying in rent. Yeah.
So it's all about money for you.
Yeah, life's about money, man.
It's a pay
I'm just trying to go out to eat more. You know?
Yeah.
So
Feel that.
it's a bigger house. It's nice.
Speaking of money, what is the best investment? Like the thing you've spent money on? Like what's been the most bang for your buck? Like that purchase.
Amazon for sure. Amazon stock.
Bought Amazon?
Yeah. I thought you were
talking about during quarantine?
What's the best
or?
investment right
Oh,
now? I was like,
How
probably
you
Amazon.
guys dealing with the storm?
Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. Or
You invested in Zoom a few weeks ago?
Zoom.
So my
That's
sister
true.
actually lives next to a Zoom employee, and they said this time, like last month, they hit like their best number of 10 million like subscribers that month.
Yeah.
Guess what they're doing today?
100 million.
100 million a day.
That's crazy.
Oh my
He said he sleeps 2 hours a day because he's having to be up and do like tech stuff.
He
That's
sleeps
crazy.
on hundreds too.
100 million a day
Wow.
users. That's insane. That is.
I got
insane.
Zoom. I got Zoom the other night.
You did?
I joined the Howards family. Shout out to the Howards. I joined their family Zoom meeting.
Their meeting
with both grandmothers were in it, and they were looking at me with like a weird background behind me. So.
They're like, so what are we doing for Thanksgiving? And I was like, I just really think.
So it's
Shout
just
out
a
to
group
the Howards.
video
Love you
chat?
guys.
Is that what Zoom is? I still don't. I
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
hearing
yeah.
people talk about
It's a
it.
video chat.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Google Meets, essentially.
It just has a cooler name.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's limitations on it. Like you have to buy it, and if you don't own if you don't have like an account that you pay for, you only get like 40-minute meetings.
Yeah.
So
The good thing about Zoom though is you can see everybody at one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So however many people are on there, their face are all on the screen
Yeah.
at one time.
Okay.
That's nice.
That is cool.
Yeah. So it is helpful.
Best investment that I've like.
Just like best purchase. that
thing
you
like
bought.
best thing that you spent money on
During the quarantine or just
Ever.
period? Oh,
ever.
gosh.
I haven't bought that much stuff during the
Probably the
quarantine.
house, my house.
golf
Oh come
clubs.
on, be cooler than that.
Okay.
Oh, drum lessons maybe, but that was my parents.
My
I mean,
preacher sneakers.
Yes,
That's true. Preach sneakers.
that's a goal. That's a goal to get on preachers and
My
sneakers.
blazers. I custom made them.
Custom made
And
blazers.
Shout out to Nike Blazers. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Check it.
Irish setter.
One is
got-
these boots,
He's-
bro.
he's
I got
the
these
Red
boots
Wings.
the week before my wedding, and I wear them almost every day.
Yeah, you do.
I'll be honest. Probably my most prized purchase was my Bronco I had
Oh yeah.
when I graduated high school.
Rest in peace.
Had it for 2 years until the
What happened? to that Bronco?
tornado took
Oh my god.
it. Have you guys ever heard? And I was in a tornado.
Oh,
Golly. That was 12 years ago.
Yeah, move.
That
It's
was
time to
12
move.
years
It's time to
Yeah,
move
12 years
on.
ago. It destroyed my Bronco.
I didn't actually know.
sorry.
I just heard
it's alright.
reference in
So-
2008. But
That's
Okay.
it.
the real thing is, and because you're shadowing it,
Jonesboro's in a tornado.
Jonesboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is-
you were from Jonesboro.
Johannesburg. We call it
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg. It's the biggest. It was the biggest tornado of the year. This year.
That's crazy.
It was
Did
an F3.
Here's a real question: did Tacos for Life get destroyed?
I don't
That's-
think so. It was close.
'Cause I
to
know
the
it came
path.
right-
I don't.
sort of
Yeah,
right there.
it was sort of right there. I don't know if it did or not. I know that it flattened where my dad used to work. So there's a
I saw a
Gateway
picture
Tire.
of a Gateway Tire. Yep.
Gateway Tire is like, I mean, probably 40, 50 foot high building, and it's just like leveled.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
And
Of it.
so that's probably
Tacos for
kinda
Life
tough.
is my favorite tacos.
T's and P's up for Jonesboro.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
T's and P's. Toilet paper?
yeah.
Thoughts and
They
prayers.
probably
and
do need
prayers.
some toilet paper. It hit the mall.
I didn't know that one.
So
Oh.
T's and P's.
I didn't know that one.
So Bronco.
You know,
um,
I went to Nashville a few weeks ago and drove right past Tacos for Life on the way there and the way back, and I
Jackson?
forgot that it was there. I love
Yeah.
that place, and
Yeah,
I was like,
so good.
because I had a full stomach both times. I was like, dang it.
their mango habanero tacos are the
Yeah.
best
Tacos for Life
to
is
me.
so good.
I think
Yeah.
so good.
Shout out Tacos for Life.
Shout
I'm just
out.
doing all the shout outs.
Hey, if
Sponsor
you wanna
us.
Sponsor
Yeah.
us. We'd be happy to
Yes,
Send us a plate of
absolutely.
tacos.
We love your business.
model.
Probably my guitar.
And your
Realistically,
tacos.
Okay.
yeah.
Guitar.
Probably my
You
guitar.
have a pretty guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought
It's
that on an
nice.
insurance claim.
Like country,
Oh god.
country gentleman.
No, my former guitar was insured. My nephew knocked it off the stand and shattered it. I paid for it to get repaired. Then, it was insured. And then years later, the glue started to break and it started to crack and it broke. So then I got money from my insurance company and then bought that. It wasn't
So it's
Oh,
fraud.
like-
you're saying like you got like an insurance claim.
No,
for,
it
for, like, your
wasn't
car or
fraud.
something.
dude. I didn't commit fraud nationwide.
I don't know. I'm not very good with money.
Retweet.
Impulse buys
Same.
get me every time.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
a terrible Amazon. When they came out with the one click, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that was keeping me from buying everything was having to go through like putting my address in, putting my card in every time. It's just not worth it. But now you can just go buy now.
Right.
Oh yeah, that
Speaking
is.
of
Speaking of impulse buys, when it was announced that we were going to go on quarantine a couple weeks ago, I bought a TV and an Xbox that afternoon.
That afternoon, like we
That's
found
what I was
out.
like, I cannot survive if I don't have something to do in my room.
I didn't
It
know
was
that you did that.
It was crazy because like we found out that we were going into quarantine like that afternoon,
Yeah.
and so we're at work, all at work, and Alex leaves. He always leaves a little earlier.
All right, dude.
Then I-
Way to just dime me out.
No, I was like, no, not like it's like 20 minutes or so.
Alex always takes like these 2-hour lunches and then leaves work like an hour and a half early. I don't know why.
And so like I get home like I don't know, maybe an hour after that, and he's like, calling me, and he's like, "Hey, can you come outside? I need you to help me get this TV out." It's like this huge 55-inch TV, and he's got an Xbox and stuff. It was like, I was like, dude, you didn't have time to do that.
Wait, so we can all jump on Warzone together?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, let's
Not me.
Warzone after I get
Hey,
moved in.
let's gamer tag right now.
Yeah.
Gamer tag and console.
I'm on PS4.
Yeah.
What's your?
I don't know what my Activision account name is.
Add Josh Sinkfield on Super Nintendo. I will kill you in Donkey Kong.
$1 more on Xbox. So
Mine's just Johnor92. JOHNOR.
John.
Johnor92
is that when you're
on
born?
PSN. But you got to get my Activision account name to hit me up on Warzone. And I don't know that because there's like a 10-digit number.
Yeah,
after it.
PlayStation.
Yeah, PS4.
okay.
Yeah, that's true. So here's one. Scariest experience. What's the scariest experience that you've had?
That's hard.
I'll go. I
Yeah,
have one
go
right
for
off the top. I asked the question. I was like, ooh, let me go. In college, I hate scary things. I hate it. I don't understand it.
Same.
I don't know why people do it.
Yeah.
But I have this one that I did. Somebody convinced me. We went there. It was down in Mississippi, and like 30, 45 minutes west of where we were in Clinton at Mississippi College. There's this town. I think it's Hattiesburg.
Yeah.
No, Vicksburg. I get the burgs mixed up.
Pittsburgh.
And yeah, Pittsburgh. That's it. And there's this abandoned insane asylum.
Sick.
And being someone who
Absolutely not.
being someone who doesn't like scary things, that should have done it for me. I'd be like, no. And I did. For like 30 or 45 minutes, I was like, no, you'll have to drag me there. And then finally they were like, all right, Adam, we're going to walk through here. And one of my friends, of course, like any college student, just had a random machete in his car. And so he was like, you can carry the machete. Which does nothing against ghosts, because they're not,
Sure.
right. It was so terrifying. There was one moment, it was like terrifying on top of terrifying on top of terrifying. Everything you did. So when we were there, they decided to tell me, oh yeah, not too recently, like within the past 6 months to a year, somebody was murdered here. And then we decided to go down into the basement. And I got 1 foot in there, and I was like, nah, I'll wait for y'all upstairs. It was terrifying.
Basement of an abandoned insane asylum.
Abandon.
It was awful. Shout out to Austin
abandoned
Anderson
buildings are
and John Bryant.
scary.
They were super nice though. They let me walk in between them so that they would at least get murdered before I did.
Did y'all do that a lot in like high school, where you just would find abandoned houses or buildings and then go into them on weekends? That's what we did in Rusk.
Really?
Yeah, you just go out late. There were a bunch of abandoned houses.
But you lived in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a town of 5,000 people. There's nothing to do. So we would
Sheesh.
walk through abandoned houses. It was a blast.
I did that in like when I was a kid in like a neighborhood. There would be like developing houses that nobody lived in.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'd,
yeah,
walk
yeah.
through those.
We did that too.
Oh, that's different. I think it's different.
My scariest experience that is short enough to tell and that is appropriate for the podcast was, I think I was like 9 or 10.
Golly.
And I had a Red Ryder BB gun. And I would put me and my friends would put Q-tips in them and shoot each other.
Nice.
Like war or whatever.
Yeah.
So my neighbor had a horse. And so we were just playing around, shooting each other in the field with the horse. And then I turned towards the horse with no Q-tip in it, like I was joking, and cocked it and shot it. Well, the guy who owns the horse didn't know that I didn't have BBs in the gun. So we just hear this huge truck, like, gunning it towards us. And he stops and hops out. And then just, like, he's a big guy, too. And I was, like, 9 years old. And this is it was so traumatic because I remember it vividly. He was, like, in my face, screaming at me. Like, I'm going to take your gun. I'm going to wrap it around this tree. And my dad had to come over and, like, calm him down and tell him to stop. Like, fuck, he was going to hit me.
Did you tell him that there was nothing in the gun?
I couldn't get any words out, man. I was like,
Did you tell him that you were 9?
Yeah, he got really
And it's a
mad.
BB gun.
Yeah.
And then I don't think
full-grown horse.
I didn't go outside for like a week after that because I didn't want to see him. I was like, so, you know, when you're young and an older person that you don't know very well gets mad at you,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
the most traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Man, he's really cool.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
He really was a good guy.
The one thing that sticks in my head for me, the scariest experience, I was in a tornado.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding.
You asked the question.
I'm just kidding. I mean,
No, you're
but
right. I did.
when I was probably middle school, we went with our family and the Barnes family, Steve and Gina, their family, Zach and Mac, down to like Universal Studios in Orlando. But there was this haunted house that was there at some point. It was maybe outside. I don't remember fully. But it's the moment I remember where I began my extreme fear of clowns. Because, I mean, this haunted house was full of clowns and it just freaked me out. I was young.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that traumatic experience and it scarred me for the rest of my life. And so, no sir on the clowns.
Yeah.
So
I'm having trouble thinking of a scary experience. I mean, I've had like stuff like breaking my leg was scary, but like it was a broken leg. It wasn't like I was
in a tornado.
Yeah.
Or something.
yeah. Well, I wasn't in a tornado or anything. Yeah. I think there was one day I was like a kid. I remember getting lost at the like Walmart.
Oh
And not
yeah,
knowing
dude,
where my
that is
mom
so
was.
scary.
It's
Oh,
like,
dude.
you're a kid, like you don't
Yeah.
like. I mean, I was 14. I was
Walmart
like, I don't know.
14.
No, like when you're a kid, you think, all right, I'm on my own now. Like this is
This is it.
this is it. Oh, you know, like when you're a kid and you're on like a float in the ocean and there's like a cross current and it like
Oh,
you'll,
yeah,
like,
the
go out into
undertow,
the ocean and like you'll be looking at your mom on the beach and then it pulls you and you don't realize it and then you look back at the beach and your mom's not there. You're like,
Yes.
oh no, what have I done? You don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always messed me up. And
That
so
was
like
scary.
I'm even still to this day, anytime I go out into the ocean, I try to like mark my land, know where I am.
Well, here's the deal. You shouldn't go in the ocean because there's sharks out there.
Whatever.
So
There's sharks. Things you can't
If you
see.
get bit by, you have like
stop with all the chances. You still have a
I
chance.
think it's like you have more of a chance of getting struck by lightning 42 times.
yeah.
42
Getting bit by a
times.
shark.
Then getting bit by a shark.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
There is a chance.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's always
You
a
can take out
chance.
all the chances if you don't go.
Sharks don't even like Destin, bro.
That's not true, dude. Some
They're
sharks.
Perdido kids.
Yes.
Some sharks.
That's where
can
we
swim
go
up
with
on
Aaron's
land.
family.
I'm saying they don't like Perdido Key. Nobody likes Perdido Key.
You said
man.
sharks swim up on
Never.
land?
They like wiggle their way up on land.
Yeah,
They
they'll
wiggle their way back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
True.
scary.
Land's not even
Nice.
safe.
Just
dude.
beach.
You
That's
gotta be,
why
like,
we go.
super inland, like Nebraska.
All right.
I'm just gonna stay here.
You got him?
I have one more. I was thinking about y'all, like yours. Mine was when I was in college, and I felt kind of like ashamed of that. So, and all y'all were like, I was like 8.
Yeah.
There was when we lived at our house, our first house, we went into Jonesboro. Yep. There was like, we had a basement, but it was like, you look at the basement, like obviously underground, but like the back of the basement opened up into the backyard. It's like the front of the basement was covered, but the back of the basement was open up into the backyard, into the woods. And there was this door that was like right by the stairs, the only way up, the only way down. And believe it or not, I used to believe that door led to hell. And so you know how like when you're young, you have like your routes of your house, like you can run through it, and you know like the perfect route, like you could do it with your eyes closed. At night, if I was like scared or something and I wanted to go upstairs, I would take my comforter and put it over my head and run through the game room by the door directly up the stairs, and I would throw it off. Once I got to the stairs, throw it off, because I was so scared. I literally believed that like on the other side of that door, you know, during the day I could see my backyard, but at night it changed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It changed, and
Yeah.
I think that's where my
Right.
We've
my
been
fear.
having this question for years, man. Where is hell? Is it like inside the earth is another realm entirely.
46,
Like, no, if it's in a
16.
basement in Jonesboro.
4616 Butler Road, Jonesboro, Arkansas 72404. Don't go
Did your
there.
parents
Don't
sell
go
that house?
there, man.
Huh?
Did they sell their house?
No.
Weren't they trying to sell it?
Yeah, they haven't sold it yet.
So
I'll
if
just-
you want to look it up,
No,
You
no,
can buy
no.
it.
That was our first one.
oh
This
my
was
bad.
in college.
1614 Whitehaven Court, Jonesboro, Arkansas 72401. It's a different zip code. It's on the other side of the interstate. Go buy it. You know, do the thing. So,
Realtor.com.
Realtor.com. Yeah. So, at the end of all these podcasts and stuff, we want to kind of, have fun, but we also want to kind of end on a more serious note. Kind of a little nugget to take away. And so just going around, I know talking about traumatic moments in our life, but like also moments that are super impactful, so what was, I guess, for each of y'all, a super impactful moment in your walk with Christ when you were younger, or maybe older, a different point, maybe even if you could give us the age of that, like what was a super impactful moment in your walk with Christ?
Yeah, I'll go first. For me, I can remember the time where things got serious in my relationship with the Lord. Like, I believe I was saved at 9. You had all these, it goes up and down through middle school and high school of your seriousness in relationship. But there was a point when I was sophomore in college when like things clicked for me. And it began to, I remember I was at a New Year's retreat with our college ministry, and the Lord like showed up in my life like I felt like He never had before, and things just started to switch in my life where I began to take this Christian life seriously and really began to make it my own, and needed that dependence upon the Lord for myself. And I just remember vividly that moment where I felt the Lord calling me into ministry right then as well, like where I felt like I can do nothing else. So I had to switch from pre-pharmacy to ministry because I was a pre-pharmacy major.
I'm so glad that you're not giving me the
Meds.
counter drugs
Yeah.
I need.
What would you
Same.
What would you
So-
have done with a pre-pharmacy degree if you didn't get into pharmacy school?
If I don't know. I mean, it's a chemistry degree and a biology minor.
Okay.
Is what it is. So you could teach.
Okay. I gotcha. I thought it was like an actual specific like pre-pharmacy.
No, it's a pre-pharmacy track, but this actual
Okay.
chemistry major.
Okay.
You
Biology
work in
minor.
a chemistry lab where you
Yeah.
So-
mix chemicals and stuff and
I
create
didn't do so
potions.
hot. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But that was mine, probably.
Chemistry's hard. There's several. I'm trying to think of just a moment. It was kind of centered around similar to what Josh said. It was kind of the beginning of God calling me to ministry. There was one summer I think it was after my sophomore year of college that I had spent a month in Guatemala in May and then went back in July. And the month that I was there in May, I was there for like 3.5, almost 4 weeks, and like there was like a week and a half period in the middle where I was just by myself. Like I was staying in a seminary, doing some translating for a group that was there, but for the most part, like I was just kind of isolated, and it was probably the loneliest period of my life. I mean, you're dealing with culture shock because you don't know anybody, and also it was in a new place, and so it was almost like I was confronted with, similar to what we're dealing with all right now. We have all this time on our hands, and suddenly nothing to distract ourselves with, nothing to like. And so I felt like I was on an island, and it was there that it was hard, but I felt like the Lord was speaking clearly to me, and it was calling out parts of my life that weren't in line with what He was calling me to as a normal believer. And then it was that sort of month that I was there that kind of shifted me back. It was not the first time that I had been shifted back towards this, but it was like it was a clear, all right, steering towards this is an intimate following with Jesus. And then later on that summer I was leading a high school trip, and it was similar to what Josh was saying. It was this moment I was back in that place where God had confronted me, where I had nowhere else to go, and it was like, I don't want to stop leading people like this. I don't want to stop doing this. And so that was kind of a hard summer for me, but it was a summer where I felt like I was isolated with God enough to where he spoke so clearly to me.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
I think for me there's been so many, but
yeah,
what I can think of right now was it was like my last year at youth camp. So I was like 17 or 18. And there was
Just a young pup.
there was this worship crew there. It was Brett and Emily Mills were their name. They were just a couple. But it was the first time that I had experienced the like power of worship through music. I think it was the first time I had seen people actually lead with authority. And so God really kind of, because growing up in a Southern Baptist church with like organ and piano, that was, it was a fairly like small church, and it was very word focused, not focused much on music at all. So I think seeing this for the first time, God really used it as a tool to be like, this is an important thing that the body needs to partake in. And there were several times that week where I was just like sitting, listening to my friends sing and listening to the band lead, where I was like brought to tears just through the power of the Holy Spirit moving in that time. And so I think it was in that week that I realized, okay, I think I want to do something with music. I think that's where God started steering me in the way where it was like, whether it be worship leading or writing or anything like that, I saw the power that he put into that. So yeah, I think that was it for me.
I think for me, like, there have been several moments along the way, and I think there will be more along the way too, where God really speaks in a powerful way. But I think one that I'm just thinking about right now is like having a moment, like remembering the moment that I gave my life to Christ. Yeah. And I've kind of neglected that for a while, but just recently I've really started to like savor that, and really like it's meant a lot to me, because I think it's so impactful to have a moment you look back to and say like, I know, I love how Davis said it at Leadership Weekend. I know I'm God's kid. I know I'm his. And so I think that's super important, especially I was 12 and I had some of the times where I ran away from God and in those times. But I think just having a moment that I can look back to and say, regardless of how I feel right now, I know that I'm still his. Yeah. And I think that's super important. Well, thanks for being super vulnerable and everything. I wanted to end this week, and we'll do this every week, where just with a trick shot, and maybe just a regular shot. Maybe just a regular shot. See if you can make it.
See if I make it?
Yep. See if you can make it.
The dude perfect shot of the week.
You get the one, you better hurry.
No cap.
You better hurry.
Oh! Just a bit
Maybe
outside.
we'll make it next week.
Maybe we'll make it next week. Hey, we hope you enjoy this. We hope it's encouraging and fun and just takes your mind off of all the stress and everything. We will see you next time.
Love you guys.